Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Or if this is after Thanksgiving, which it probably is, happy Thanksgiving weekend. Or for all of you non-Americans out there, happy double XP weekend on Black Ops 6 Zombies. There's double XP, double weapon XP, double gobblegum, you name it. It's a triple double weekend and it'll last from Wednesday to Monday. So if you're liking BO6, which I'm guessing you are since you're watching this video, make sure you're grinding this weekend while you're watching this video. A couple weeks ago, I put a post on my community page asking you to comment your hottest BO6 Zombies take to be in a video. And as per normal, we got a bunch of responses. Won't get to all of them in this video, but we got about 15 hot takes in here and they're all pretty spicy. So if you enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like. The first hot take is from Rampage and he says, Liberty Falls is actually a nice looking map. A West Virginia 90s themed town set in the middle of the day serves as a nice contrast to Terminus's island fortress prison / laboratory set in a stormy night. It's made for casuals and it's not as complex as the other maps, which is why I love it. Sometimes I just want to relax and get straight to killing zombies instead of having to do a bunch of quests and able to get set up. I like to think of it as BO6's equivalent of town from BO2. I agree with this. This is a hot take, but I do agree with this. I actually really enjoy Liberty Falls. Like when I first watched the trailer when they first revealed it at, what was it, COD Next or whatever, like in August. I'm gonna be honest, it took away a lot of the hype I had for BO6. After we saw the Terminus trailer and everything, let me go back even further than that. After Cold War, during Vanguard and Modern Warfare Zombies, I was like, yeah, it's starting to look like this game, this franchise, starting to look like it's kind of cooked. Might have to just stick to the oldies. But then we saw Terminus, and I was like, okay, zombies are so back. This looks incredible. And then we saw Liberty Falls, and I was like, okay, Terminus still looks pretty cool, but I mean, Liberty Falls looks like a modern zombies map, and you know what I mean by that. Where it was just a town set in a bright day with recycled boss enemies, recycled wonder weapons. I just was not feeling it. But as soon as I hopped in, I was hooked. I can stand before you today, or I guess sit before you, and say, I love Liberty Falls. You're right, it's not some super complex map, and it's not supposed to be either. It's just a map you can hop on every once in a while, turn your brain off, grind some camos, or just kill zombies, whatever you want to do. And then if you're playing it and then you decide you want to do something, you have the main quest, which is fine, I guess, for a casual map, but you also have like 15 different side quests, and they're all really fun to do. None of them have really annoying steps. The jet gun is so much better than it was in BO2. It's not even, like, it's not even close. Not only is this one infinite damage, but it also doesn't take 15 minutes of running in fog to build, and it doesn't break if you use it for 5 seconds. It's insane. And with how the map looks in general, I think it looks pretty nice. When I was watching the trailer and the sun was casting directly over the map, it was just too bright. I'm sorry, it was. But now that the sun's not as apparent and it's more overcast than anything else, I actually really do enjoy the setting. The only thing about this map that I don't really like is the fact that the boss enemies are just recycled from previous games. The Abomination is recycled from Forsaken, and in Forsaken it was a redesign of the Margwa from BO3. And of course we have the Manglers, which have been in Garad Crovey, Firebase Z, Malraider Toten, Outbreak, Forsaken, and now the 2 launch maps in BO6. That's like the only bad thing about this map that I think is holding it back, is that the boss enemies are just recycled, and to be honest, I wasn't too big a fan of them when they first were introduced into zombies 5-10 years ago. So if I could change that, that'd be great, but as it stands, Liberty Falls is like BO6's town. I'm predicting this map will be popular forever because, like you said, you don't have to do quests, you just turn your brain off and kill zombies, and as BO1 fans will tell you, that's all zombies has to be, is like theater map. The next hot take is from Knuckles, and this one kind of ties into the one we were just talking about. He says, Liberty Falls and Terminus are the best launch maps we have ever gotten. While Shadows remains my personal favorite map of all time, these two play exceptionally well and are a good balance between fun and difficult, which is not something I can say for the other launch maps we've seen in the series. While I don't entirely agree with this, you do have a good point. Terminus and Liberty Falls do balance each other out really well, and they know what they're going for and they achieve it perfectly. Is this the best launch in zombies history? Probably yes. But are Terminus and Liberty Falls my 2 favorite launch maps ever? No. Honestly, it's not even close. I mean, I love both maps, but I'd rather play Shadows of Evil over it. I'd rather play Zombies in Spaceland over it from Infinite Warfare. I'd rather play Blood of the Dead over it. And then I would probably slot Terminus and Liberty Falls in my launch map ranking, probably below those 3. So my top 5 would go Shadows, Blood, Spaceland, Terminus, and Liberty Falls. 100% though, this is a fantastic launch, and it's only gonna get better because we have a new zombies map coming out in, what is it, 9 days from today? 8 days from today, from the time I'm recording this. And we've barely had these maps for a month. And it's not like these maps are just like bare bones multiplayer maps that you just hop in like once every 3 weeks and kill zombies for 20 minutes and then you're bored. I have been playing this game pretty much non-stop since it came out. Or not just playing it, making content, editing, thumbnails. My life has basically revolved around Black Ops 6 for the past month. And I'm still nowhere even close to getting all the videos I wanted to get done, or all the streams. I barely even started Nebula Camo, and DLC 1 is around the corner. Like, oh my god, there is just so much stuff to do in this game, and so much stuff to cover. It is so amazing. Thank you, Treyarch, for creating a game with a ton of replayability once again. The next hot take is from Red Taylor's Version Zombies, and she says the Beam Smasher Wonder Weapon is totally useless and overrated. It does little damage even with the slowdown damage bonus. The fact it doesn't have any penetration is just absurd. Now, I do agree with this. I do think the Beam Smasher does suck, but that is when you use it as a weapon to kill. If you pair this weapon with the ASG or the GS45, you can just tap the off-fire near a boss enemy and then pull out your secondary weapon, and thanks to that damage buff, you'll delete the boss enemy so fast. I said this in a video like a week ago. This wonder weapon is like 2 different weapons in my opinion. If you're using it to kill zombies, it sucks. It's one of the worst wonder weapons of all time. But if you're just utilizing its alt-fire and using it to kill the zombies with other guns, I would argue it's one of the best in zombies history. Like if you compare it side by side, you will see that the Beam Smasher alt-fire, when you combine it with a red gun, makes it so much better it's not even funny. So try this out in your game and I guarantee you you'll like it more. Yes, it's kind of dumb that you can't really kill with it and they call it a wonder weapon, but it's definitely not useless. The next hot take is from Crimson, and he says most of the Warzone mechanics actually work pretty well in this game. I think the majority of people just hate on it because it's not classic. Yet again, I agree with this. I think a lot of the quote-unquote Warzone mechanics work in this game too. Stuff like the score streaks and the weapon rarities and the loot boxes everywhere and the manual plating, just stuff like that. I really didn't like the majority of this in Cold War, even though manual plating wasn't in Cold War. The other stuff I didn't like. I thought they were hindrances to the zombies game mode, and I thought they had to take them out or else every single subsequent game would suck. But I was pleasantly surprised because it turns out that they balanced all of these mechanics that I didn't like in previous games and just slightly changed them. So now I think they actually work pretty well in the game. Like I said, manual plating wasn't a thing in Cold War, but the guns are weak enough in BO6 to where I don't feel like I just have unlimited ammo at my disposal. Even though I technically do, with all the ammo boxes placed everywhere, I still don't feel like I can just keep going up and buying ammo over and over and over again because points are so much more crucial in BO6. The weapon rarity, same thing. If you guys have watched my channel for any amount of time, you heard me talk about Cold War, you guys know that I could not stand the fact that you could load in with a gray rarity Gallo or a gray rarity Hauer, Street Sweeper, basically any shotgun, and it would carry you to at least round 10 before you even had to think about upgrading it. And when you could load in with a shotgun and be completely fine for the first 10 rounds, why on earth would you load in with a pistol or an SMG or anything besides a shotgun? Once again, they took this out of BO6. The shotguns are still pretty good to start out with, but now if you keep your gray rarity unpacked ASG, by the time you hit even like round 5 or round 6, it will really start to drop off and you'll have to get another weapon. Even though they kept a lot of the mechanics in Cold War that I did not like, they improved them to where now I think they should be in zombies. I do. That'll probably get me crucified in the comments. Hunter says, this is the healthiest the zombies community has been since BO3 Chronicles. This isn't really a hot take, but yeah, you're kind of right on this. You know, you don't really think about this, but ever since Chronicles, the community's just gotten their hopes up really high, and then whether it was because we got our hopes up too high, or in like a Vanguard and Modern Warfare Zombies case, Treyarch just didn't give us what we wanted. The community hasn't been this excited since, like you said, Zombies Chronicles. And it's crazy to think just how successful this launch was, and they're already starting with the DLC season. They are not playing around in this game. The next hot take ties into the previous one, and it's from Joshua, and he says, I like how so many of these quote-unquote hot takes are really positive and optimistic. With how divisive and toxic this community was leading up to the game's launch, I suppose trying to find the good in things would be considered hot takes. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. Like we talked about earlier in this video, we went on a roller coaster of emotions leading up to this game releasing. We saw Terminus, we thought it looked great, then we saw Liberty Falls, and I was like, I don't know. But now that this game's out and we finally got our hands on it, it's really nice to see that this game is basically getting universal praise. You know, you still have like your 35-year-old BO1 fans that can't let go of the past, and you also got all your Blundell fanboys that think every single game has to be BO3 2.0. You have those people that just can't let go of the past and accept zombies has moved on, but for most of us who like different experiences in zombies, BO6 is really fun for all of us. My man Sandman is back with a hot take, and he says Liberty Falls is a top 10 zombies map of all time. Great layout, decent Easter egg, and the jet gun is amazing. Okay, it does have a great layout and a decent Easter egg, and the jet gun is a lot of fun to use, but top 10 of all time? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. This is the same person that had 9 in his F tier, so. You, Sandman, my friend, have some extraordinary hot takes. Channel member Jin Dokkan Champion says, Black Ops 6 Zombies has been an amazing experience, and it's one of the best I think we've gotten in a very long time. Especially since people are still finding out stuff in the 2 maps we have so far, shows that Zombies is truly back. I was extremely happy to get more songs by Kevin Sherwood. Now, last part first. It is nice to see Kevin Sherwood back, but I'm not a big fan of the Easter egg songs in BO6, especially Terminus's. Like, Terminus song is so light and so melodic. I was kind of hoping for something a lot heavier, you know, since it's like, and we're stranded on an island with all these disgusting enemies and all these horrifying scientist experiments. I thought we was going to get a heavier song for Terminus, but Liberty Falls is fine. Terminus though, wish it was heavier. But yeah, BO6 Zombies so far has been an amazing experience, and the fact that we are still finding side quests to do really shows how much time and effort they put into these maps. This isn't like Cold War where we found literally everything the map had to do within the first 48 hours of it releasing. We are over a month post-launch and we are still finding new Easter eggs. Like, did you guys know in that crab Easter egg, not only can you do the whack-a-mole for a free perk, but you can also do it for salvage and free points? I knew that Easter egg existed for like 3 weeks, and I just found out there were 2 extra whack-a-mole stations like a week ago. Cody says, BO6 Zombies feels like the most natural evolution and culmination of all prior Zombies games. I think the gameplay is the best out of every prior Zombies game, including BO3. The launch maps are excellent, but if we can receive multiple quality DLCs and possibly a Zombies Chronicles 2, BO6 would hands down be the best Zombies game to date in my eyes. Yeah, I completely agree with this. The launch so far has been excellent, and the gameplay itself is phenomenal. It really does feel like they took the best parts of BO3, the best parts of BO4, and the best parts of Cold War, and just mashed them all together to create one fun sandbox experience to keep you coming back over and over and over again. But yes, if we can get multiple really good DLCs with really fun Easter eggs, good enemies, good wonder weapons, and a good story, and also get a Zombies Chronicles 2, then yeah, I think you're right. This does go down as hands down the best Zombies game ever. Axo Lover says, I personally enjoy the Manglers. I feel like they give a nice challenge to the maps and give unique gameplay that you wouldn't see from the other tank bosses. Sure, they are overused, but out of any boss that could have been overused, I'm happy it was the Mangler, not something like the Mimic. Oh god. Yeah, if they reused the Mimic on every map in this game, oh god. Oh, this game would be so cooked. If you know me, you know how I feel about the Mimic. Or even if you don't know me, I'm pretty sure I just inferred a good enough opinion. But I'm not a big fan of the Mangler. I said this, I forget what hot take earlier in this video, but not only am I not a big fan of the Mangler himself, but I'm also not a big fan of them reusing boss enemies. Like, if you're gonna do it for like a DLC 4 or something, where you're like trying to hit the nostalgia bone or something, that makes sense. But I don't think the Mangler should be on every single map in this game. And we're gonna jump over to the next hot take because this also has to do with the Manglers, and it's from Ballin420, and he says, the Mangler spam is basically fine. It makes the game very hard in the later rounds, and you need to stay focused to make sure you don't get demolished. I do think there should be a bit of a nerf with how many can be in the map at once, but besides that, I find the high abundance of Manglers to be pretty good. This is definitely a hot take, and I completely disagree with it. I don't get the point of spamming Manglers. I really don't. If you ask me, it really messes up the flow of high rounds. Like, when I get in the flow of things and I'm just killing zombies, vibing, I just want to kill zombies. I don't want to have to kill zombies for 2 minutes and then go run around the map for 2 minutes looking for Manglers and kill 15 of them with my red guns before advancing the round. I should not have to do that every single round. I think the Manglers spawn way too often. And I know what you're about to say. If they took away all the Mangler spam, then BO6 high rounds would be free. Well, I'm struggling to understand why they can't just make the rounds, I don't know, longer. Why can't they just add more zombies to the round? Why can't, instead of on round 50, 100 zombies spawning, why can't 400 zombies spawn? That would increase the difficulty of the game, and it wouldn't completely halt the momentum of your game at the end of every single round. And you say it makes the game very hard in the later rounds? I don't even see that really, because at least on Terminus, you use the Beam Smasher in the GS45s or the Beam Smasher in the Beam Smasher in anything really. You'll be able to take out the Mangler so fast. Now if you're not using a Beam Smasher, then that's another story, but with the Beam Smasher, it doesn't add any more difficulty, and if anything, it makes BO6 high rounds worse. Akamex says, or Akamex, Sorry. They say, Melee Macchiato is an underrated perk. Use it while getting the knife and the baseball bat opal. Oh god, I just realized I have to get the baseball bat opal. Oh god, help me. Never had more fun one-tapping zombies and manglers late round when maxed. Melee Macchiato was a lot like Ethereal Razor from BO4. If you like stabbing zombies and you want to do that as your high round strat or as your main way of killing, then that perk is for you, but for people that don't like stabbing, this perk leaves a bit to be desired. I'm glad you're liking it though. The more variety we have, the more playstyles we have, and the more playstyles we have, the more players we have. So, if you like using Melee Macchiato Akamex, enjoy it, my man. KKPTQ says, Liberty Falls is more fun than Terminus. I like both, but for some reason, I've enjoyed Liberty Falls more. Probably because the jet gun is so much fun to use. Yeah, the jet gun is a lot of fun to use. Definitely more fun to use than a beam smasher, at least when you're not using the alt fire. Yeah, like I said, I love BO6 zombies. I love both maps so far, but if I had to pick one over the other, for a while there, I was saying I prefer Liberty Falls over Terminus, but Terminus Easter egg is just so much better than Liberty Falls. I think that's what's gonna tip it over the edge for me. Yeah, if you take out the Easter eggs, these maps are pretty much neck and neck for me in terms of which one I like more. Which, can I just say how awesome it is for me to have a survival map that I love again? What's it been? 9 years since the last one? That's disgusting. And the final hot take in this video is from Victor, and he says the only reason people like Liberty Falls is because of its size and its unique zipline feature. Any 15-year-old kid could have done a similar good job with a BO6 map editor while not missing the zombies vibe. I disagree. I think this map has a pretty nice zombies vibe. Just because it takes place in the daytime does not mean it's missing the zombies vibe. A map can take place in the daytime and still hit that theme. I mean, like, there are bodies everywhere, there are zombies everywhere, just like laid out across the streets. There is blood everywhere in this map. And even if you don't like the atmosphere of the main map, you still have the atmosphere inside the church, which you cannot deny, that does nail the zombies atmosphere. I'm gonna agree to disagree for the most part with your comment, but you saying it's unique zipline feature, did you play Cold War? Because this is far from the first time we have seen ziplines and zombies, my friend. And with that funny note, we're gonna end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. And also comment your hottest COD Zombies take down below. And if I read it and I like it, or even if I disagree with it, but I still see what you're saying, I'll drop you a heart. Shout out to my members. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to become a member, get access to members only videos, members only badges, shout outs on every video, and more, you can do so by clicking the top link in the description or the join button below this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.